It's match day 10 in Liga MX this weekend with games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, it will be a short week for a few teams as there was some midweek action with Queretaro and San Luis playing on Tuesday, Tigres and Juarez playing on Wednesday, as well as Tijuana and Monterrey, who also played on Wednesday. We can also look ahead to next week with the CONCACAF Champions Cup, where several of these teams will be in action with Pachuca and Tigres playing on Tuesday, Chivas and Club America playing on Wednesday, and then Monterrey getting the late game on Thursday. So some of these teams could be looking ahead and potentially rotating their squads. Just something to consider as we look at best bets for this weekend, of which I'm going to look at 3 games to create one Liga MX parlay, starting on Friday with Queretaro and Santos Laguna. It's Queretaro 10th and Santos Laguna 14th. There's usually goals in the cards when these teams meet up. Queretaro won the last 2 meetings 2-0, both on the road. Prior to that, it was 3-3, 1-1, 3-2 Santos Laguna, and 5-0 Santos Laguna. These teams give up the most, Queretaro, and the 4th most, Santos Laguna, in attacking third touches this season. So they're both giving up lots of chances. They're both also bottom 4 in XGA for goals allowed. Both are in the bottom half of the table right now. Queretaro coming off a 4-1 win on Tuesday, and they won 2-0 last Friday, though. Queretaro now undefeated in 4 games, and they've scored in 7 straight games, as well as in 10 of 12 games. Now, they have 6 draws, though, in their last 10, so they're not getting a lot of wins, but they've scored in 12 of 13 games at home. Santos Laguna has allowed the 5th most goals in the Clausura right now with 16 in 9 games, and 11 of those 16 goals they've allowed have come in their 5 road games where they are still winless at 0-1-4. They won 1-0 at home on Sunday, and that was their first win, though, after 4 losses, and just their second win in their last 10 if we go back to last season. They had been shut out in their 4 previous losses, and on the road, they have just 1 road win in their past 13 games going back into last season, and that 1 win was the only road clean sheet they've kept in 18 road games. They've allowed multiple goals in 14 of 17 of their last road games. So this likely looks like a good value on a Queretaro win at plus 155. They do have that short turnaround. So I'm just going to play it safe and go Queretaro to score. But other options could be a Queretaro win or a double chance or a draw, no bet as well. Let's look over to the next game, and it's Atletico San Luis and Puebla. It's another Friday game. San Luis are 13th, Puebla second from bottom at 17th. It's hard to trust either of these 2 teams here. Atletico San Luis are 13th at 2-1-6, Puebla 17th, 1-1-6. You can usually trust goals, though, in the matches for these games. Atletico San Luis games average 3.2 goals per game. Puebla's averaged 3.1. A lot of that has to do with the porous defense of both of these teams. Each have given up 19 goals, which are tied for the league worst. Puebla have done it with a game less than Atletico San Luis and 1 game less than even last place Juarez. On one hand, San Luis are now 0-1-6. They just lost 4-1 on Tuesday, and they've been outscored 18-7 in that time. But at home, they've scored in 5 of their last 7 games. They've also scored 3 in their last home game. And Puebla are winless in 3. They've been outscored 9-1 in those 3, and they have just 1 win in 10. They've conceded a goal in 12 straight games, and they've allowed multiple goals in 9 of their past 10. Their last 4 road games have all been losses: 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, and 3-0. They've also only kept a clean sheet on the road once in their last 17 games. So as bad as both of these teams have been, I do think we could at least get 1 goal from Atletico San Luis. Puebla gave up the 2nd most shots on target in the league. So again, we'll just ask for San Luis to get 1 goal at home. And then we'll roll this into Saturday and look at Pachuca and Juarez. It's Saturday night. Pachuca are seeded 3rd, but they are tied for the most points in the league right now. Meanwhile, Juarez come in 18th, last in the league. This should be a Pachuca win. Pachuca will be the more rested team, having been off this week, while Juarez just played on Wednesday, and they lost again 1-0 to Tigres, but at least did keep that game close. But then Pachuca, the downside here will be they will have one of those teams that is playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next week, and it's on Tuesday, the early game. They're on the road to Philadelphia Union, an MLS team, so they could get caught resting or looking ahead here, possibly. Outside of a 1-0 road win, Pachuca in October when these teams played, previous 6 and 6 of 7 all-time meetings have seen at least 2 goals and also both teams to score. Pachuca is 8-1 to over 1.5, so there's been at least 2 goals in 8 of their 9 games this season, and their games average by far the most goals per game at 4.1. They've scored 21, but they've allowed 16. That 4.1 goals per match is far higher than the next highest team at 3.3, that being Leon. Juarez are 5-3 to over 1.5 goals. Their games average some of the fewest goals, though, in the league at just 2.1. So they are losing most of their games, but not by a lot, and they just simply cannot score any goals. Pachuca have been perfect at home so far in the Clausura at 4-0-0. They've scored 12, but they're not keeping anybody out of their net. They've allowed 8 goals in those 4 games. Pachuca only have 1 loss in 7 and 4 losses in 19, though. They did need, though, a stoppage time PK goal to tie 1-1 with Necaxa last week. Meanwhile, Juarez are winless in 12, and they have just 1 win in their last 18 games. They've allowed multiple goals in 5 of their last 6, and they haven't won a road game since last summer's Leagues Cup tournament. That's a run of 12 games. 11 of those have been losses, and they have 9 straight road losses as well. So like I said, my only concern here is Pachuca looking ahead to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but I still think they should, at home, have enough to beat this Juarez team that just cannot score a goal. So we will include them to win in this parlay. Juarez, they keep games close, but they just have no offense. They had 1 shot on target in that loss against Tigres. They have just 4 goals for. They have the lowest XG in the league, and the fewest shots on target, and the fewest attacking third and penalty area touches. So let's hope that Pachuca, whether it's the starters or some backups, still get the home win. So we'll go Pachuca to win, San Luis to score, Queretaro to score. That'll come in at plus 129. If by chance you just wanted to play at safer and go over 1.5 goals with Pachuca and Juarez, you could go minus 143. But let's go for the Pachuca win. What are your Liga MX picks? Drop them in the comments. If you're looking for more soccer picks, I'll have more videos coming up for MLS, European soccer games this weekend, Women's Gold Cup, and more. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and good luck with all of your soccer picks.